Yes, everybody, good evening and welcome. Please feel free to unmute yourself and maybe greet or introduce yourself where you're joining from. You're all welcome to this event, Microsoft, organized by Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors. Yes, so um, please stay till the end of the event. We don't expect coming up to an hour or so, but if you preferably can stay to the end of the event, it will be better because it's not just the slides. As you are doing, we are showing what we should be doing. Like we'll be forking a repository for this event, creating issues, sending pull requests, and we'll merge them, right? So everything will be prepared. So when you merge the pull request, your name will show. When we merge the pull request, your name will show on a website we prepared for today's event. So, but notwithstanding, stay to the end, because if you stay to the end and send the pull request, and you receive a certificate, right? At the end of the event today, I'm going to drop a form in the chat box so that we can fill the form, and you will receive a certificate for attending. Okay, so feel free to unmute your mic and ask any question, because I think I noticed the chat box is not available to everybody. The chat box may not be available to everybody. It's only available to student ambassadors. So I think it's something Microsoft said themselves. Yeah, I said, is there anybody here that has a GitHub account, that already has a GitHub account, or who knows about GitHub? You may maybe share with us. What you know about GitHub before we get started. Kind of an icebreaker. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Cletus said yes. Yes. Thank you, Cletus. Oh, no, you can unmute yourself and share with us what you feel as GitHub. Feel free.
Okay. Ouch. I should speak, right?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you. So the best way or the simplest way I usually explain GitHub to people is I normally say is more like an online computer or online folder where you have to keep your files and things. And one of the important things it does is, one, it keeps it safe for you, and it makes it possible for you to meet a new system or meet someone's system and still continue your project. So just like your normal system that you have your files, your folders, your pictures, your audios and everything on your system, or maybe, for example, people's projects. Okay, so if your system is to spoil or have an issue now, so you can't actually continue that project. But making use of GitHub, if your files are up there on GitHub, if something happens to your system, I can simply borrow your own system and open my GitHub, get the project done on your PC. Once I'm done with the project, I push it back to GitHub and I give you back your system. So it's more like, I'm saying, your online storage where you get to keep your files and collaborate with other people if it's a project. Thank you.
Exactly. No, you give. It's like you summarized the event already. Like you said everything already. Yes, it's kind of an online store. Thank you very much, Cletus. Thank you for that icebreaker. So yes, GitHub is kind of an online store of your files, but what you said, I'm actually a practical. It's my story, like, because it's not just the storing for me or the borrowing laptop for me. I did it, and I started with these code spaces. Code spaces is a feature they have of recent where you can code or make changes directly from your GitHub account. In fact, if you're visiting any GitHub repository and click on dot, it just spins up a code space, but it's read only. So code space has been released and is kind of paid for. So we'll take our time and explain what this GitHub is and all these things, repositories, issues, and pull requests. But at least more persons have joined, so maybe I should introduce myself. Right. my name is Obum. You can call me Obum or through this call. Yeah, the full name's on the screen. Obumuneme Nwabude, right? So I'm a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador for my school, Alex Kwame University, and you're all welcome to this call. So like Cletus mentioned, we are talking about GitHub. So by the end of this event, we expect that you attending should have a GitHub account. So whether you already have a GitHub account and you just need to kind of maybe log into your account, or whether you don't have one and you can kind of have to create the account and verify and all those things. We're going to walk through the steps now. So after that, we're going to kind of talk about collaboration, because as Cletus mentioned, it helps in storing files. But yes, that's one part of GitHub. What we are talking about here, the part we are focused in today is the collaboration part. And so you cannot talk about collaborating in GitHub without mentioning things like forking, F-O-R-K, like fork, like the name came from the fork, like the fork we used to eat, to kind of fork a meat or fork any solid something and copy it, right? So forking or issues or pull requests. But I will not assume that everybody has some technical experience or something. Before that, I'm going to explain everything in details. So that's the objectives of today's GitHub team. So it's separated into these 5 modules. What is GitHub? Forks, issues, pull requests. Pull requests are another important feature. I think this is the peak of all the collaborative features in GitHub. Like it made it possible that okay, giving somebody I don't even know, or giving someone that needs help, I can easily make changes to their code or to their repository on GitHub. So we're going to see how we're going to go about that, or how to do about that in this call. Yes. So that's enough for the introduction. So let's enter the main business. GitHub, right? So GitHub is a company currently owned by Microsoft. So it's a Git as a service. It hosts. It's kind of a hosting provider. It's for hosting repositories. So I'll need to explain what repositories are. Maybe you can see the image on screen where you see a laptop with some orange files entering some container-like stuff. So a repository is a store of your project, a store of the files that are used in your project. Yes, let me use that way. A store of them. So kind of C repos like folders, or C repos like yes, C repos like folders in your laptop. So each folder is where you edit the website code for your website or stuff like that. So but this time around, this project folder, not just any folder, a project folder, a repository is a project folder. So when you're in GitHub and you want to start a new project, whatever it is, whether it is a photo creation, album creation, whatever the project is, you're coding, it's web design, not graphics, sorry, mobile app design. Graphic design doesn't use Git. So you just need to create a new GitHub repository. So when you create this repository, you can make changes to the add files, upload files, make it public, make it private, add licenses. There are so many things you can do with a repository. So a repository is the center of GitHub, right? The center of everything you're doing in Git. I don't know if it's clear. If it's not clear, like repositories are just like your project centers, right? So we can create repositories in GitHub, and we're going to do that. We're going to demo on GitHub, and but before that, we need an account. We need a GitHub account. So I think I'm going to. I expect or hope that we can actually use our devices to follow along these steps. Like I'm going to be doing some demos, alternating between some demos and explaining. We do this thing, we come back to class, we say, okay, this is the meaning of what we want to do. This is how we did it. This is why we are doing it towards collaboration. So it's not going to be an entirely speaker audience session is going to be more of an interactive, hands-on workshop session or practical session. So I plead your indulgence. Maybe if you're using your phone, to join this call, I think I'm going to have an emulator side by side with my browser, is so that if you're joining from a laptop, you can be seeing what we are doing and how we are doing it. If you're joining from your phone, you can create a GitHub account. It's free, it's inexpensive. There's no money expenditure. So what is holding you from having a GitHub account? I think we need to get started. So we're going to go to github.com, right? We're going to go to github.com. So let me share my screen instead. I think it's turned off my audio. Okay, yeah. So we are going to go to github.com and kind of demo what I'm saying. So what are we demoing in this step first? We are demoing creating a GitHub account and or logging into the GitHub account. I don't think I'm going to go through the steps of creating because I already have one. I was simply just logging into my account on both the phone emulator and Edge on a browser so that you see what the experience looks like. Okay, so please, if you can please follow along. So remember, for those who just joined, I said at the end of this session, we're going to award certificates to all participants. So please do stay tuned and follow the steps because you need this GitHub account. You need to log into your GitHub account, create an issue, and make a pull request like we'll show on screen. You need to do all of these things so that we can merge a pull request and your name will show on the MLSA GitHub website we had set for this event that you attended this event. And not just that, so that you can also fill the form and receive your certificate. So without wasting much time, yes, going to github.com. So this is what it looks like on. Yes, this is it, github.com. So this is a landing page of GitHub, right? Where the world builds software. Right, yes. So this is the most popular place where software is built. It's so it's a one-of-a-kind place, GitHub. You see, you can contribute. Many people come here, many open source projects, many of them, you can start naming all of them. Even GitHub itself is open source and it's on GitHub, right? Git and all of them. So I'll keep this emulator side by side and I'll keep this side by side. So yes, I think this works. So if you don't have an account, you sign up. So why we have the, let me also open it here. I hope you can see my screen. You can see what I'm doing. If you have any issues, please let me know. If you can't see my screen, can't see both the phone and the laptop, please let me know. Or if you can see, please let me know. So I said I'll show you how to sign up. The sign up screen on desktop is very interactive. It's kind of welcome to GitHub. Let's begin the adventure. Enter your email. So if I enter my student ambassador's email, continue. I'll need to enter a password. I'm not actually creating this account, but I'm just trying to make it look like what it looks like. Oh, I didn't know what was wrong with the emulator. Continue. Okay. Obum. Yeah, continue. So after that, so I'm walking us through the steps of creating. I won't complete the creation, but we'll need to finish this puzzle. Click on spirals. That's to create a GitHub account. So please, if you don't have a GitHub account, be creating. I wish to hear from you if you're actually creating a GitHub account or something. We want you to do that. So I won't create this account. I already have an account and I don't have use for it. I will simply log into my existing GitHub account. I don't know, the emulator is not picking network. Maybe I should restart it. Yeah. So, but I already have an account, so I'm not going to create the account. I was trying to show what it looks like. So importantly, if you click on create account, GitHub will send a code to your email address, and you need to enter this code here and sign in, right? So, but without that, I'm just signing. Just sign in and my email. My password. So I have two-factor authentication set already. So I'll have to enter it from my phone. So two-factor authentication is a good feature because it helps with security. So maybe we want to be turn it on the way mine is turned on. Yeah, they sent the code already. Okay. So I'm logged into GitHub. Very simple. There is no big deal. So I already have an existing account, and when you log in, you see a lot of your activity already, just the way you can see mine. Yours may not be the same like mine because it's a new account. You may not see repositories by the right and all those, but yeah. So talking about the emulator, I'm sorry, it's not. I wanted to use it to show what it looks like on mobile. Maybe I'll start it afresh again. And permit me to launch this emulator. Just seconds, please. CMD. Yes. So, okay, I've reloaded the emulator, and yes, exactly, the emulator is working now. It's working. Sorry for that break. So you see a similar interface on the web. I don't know if you can see. Maybe I should move to the center. You have to log in. Let's log in, sign in. So this is what it looks like in your phone. Okay, GitHub sent another two-factor authentication code. Yeah, so something similar like this. So that's about creating a GitHub account or logging into a GitHub account. So I don't know, are we logged into our accounts? I would like to hear from us. Maybe we can log into our accounts, please. Ryan, your hand is up. Please, if you have any issues, you can unmute and talk, please. Please, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself, you can talk, and we can continue. So, yeah, that was about demoing about GitHub. So to create a repository is very simple. There is a new button on desktop, right? You just click on this new button, github.com/new. You enter, you click on new, and they'll ask you questions. What's the name of the repository? Maybe I can create one. Let me say MLSC. Sorry, all lowercase is better. MLSC GitHub or MLSC GitHub. I don't know. I already have one like that in this account, so no. Let me just say MLSC for Microsoft Learning Student Ambassadors. And on mobile, it's the same there. You can also create a repository here. Okay, I think it's just github.com/new. So github.com/new, you see a similar interface. So I'm not asking us to create repositories in this webinar, but I just want us to see what it looks like. So you fill the entries, you can make it public, you can add a README file, git ignore, choose license, and can create a repo. And after you create the repository, you have a repository. That's it. So you can add files. You can add files, creating a new file. Can name it anything. Let me say Obum, and then come and say my name is Obum, and that's it. You commit. So committing is kind of saving or making a change. It's part and parcel of the process, committing. So that's about GitHub. GitHub is very easy to use. Like Clayton rightly mentioned at the beginning of the call, it is like coding in the cloud, coding online without a laptop. So if you notice, I've been doing everything in my browser. I haven't needed to step out to my local machine trying to set up VS Code or Android Studio or IntelliJ or any of them. I just went straight to the browser, created. So you can create a full-blown website or mobile application from from GitHub, right? So that's where we are. So yes, back to the next part of the demo, the next part of the webinar. Well, that was on GitHub accounts. So if anybody has any questions about GitHub, about repositories, and creating repositories, you can ask them right now. If anybody has any question.
I have no question for now.
If Tu is a fellow ambassador like me, he said something in the chat. The mobile demo looks cool. Yes, thank you very much, If Tu. Thank you. Yes, the mobile looks cool. So we should progress into more about the slide. So, but it's raining here. Let me please close the window so that the rain doesn't affect the noise. Just today raining. Just give me a sec, please. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Thank you, people. So, yes. Oh, I didn't get to
question, please.
Yes, please ask. Any question, ask. Is welcomed.
I just noticed I can't view the chat on phone. I'm actually joining on my phone.
Yeah, Cletus, I'm sorry about that. So it's a policy from Microsoft. It happens that when we kind of create a Microsoft Teams like this, they can set if guests can use the chat box or not. So you attendees of this event are guests to this Microsoft Teams. While me, an ambassador, is kind of a member of the Microsoft Teams, but I don't have an admin privilege to actually turn on the setting for you. And they turned it off for security purposes. They said, okay, some people may enter calls and disrupt calls. So that's why they turned it off. So please, let's just use our audios and mics. That's why I keep asking if you have anything to say, unmute your mic and say it, okay? I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Please.
Right.
It's just other ambassadors on the call that can use the chat box. Yes, thank you. So back to the lesson. So what next we have? We're talking about forks. So the name forking may be funny, but you don't really see it funny. It's just that that's how it is. So I cannot fork my own repo. Sorry for if the rain is disturbing. I cannot fork my own repository. A fork is kind of a copy, right? An exact copy of it. See it this way. A fork is put on food in a plate and lifted. But when it's lifted, you don't lift the whole food, kind of duplicate the food. So forking is like duplicating repositories or projects on GitHub. So it's something that comes only with GitHub, right? You need to be capable of forking a repository to contribute. So why do we need collaboration in the first place? You see, in our modern world nowadays, we realize that we need people. We talk about communities because Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors is a community program. So we talk about community programs, and as communities, we can come together and build awesome products. So we need tools like GitHub to enable us to contribute to our to contribute effortlessly, to make contributions easy. The biggest software we use in the world, like the Linux operating system, the Android operating system, the Git itself we are using, among others, many websites you may come across, right, are open source code. Open source in the sense that many volunteer developers out there come in and make changes, edit the code, and for it to be usable. So, but all this were possible through GitHub with a fork feature. So when I fork a repository, I can have a copy of it, right? So, but there's a catch. You can only fork repos in desktop mode. So I think I'll try and fork an example repository. I'll fork an example repository back to our GitHub. So let me go to, I don't know, let me look for, I cannot fork my own repository. All these repositories of mine, I can't make a copy of them. But let me go to maybe github.com/github. Yeah, so this is GitHub's own GitHub profile on GitHub, and that's very possible. So you checking the emulator, let me do something. So when I'm in this github.com/github, let me enter a repository, let me say fetch. At the top right of the screen, you see fork. So you can see how many people have forked the repo, 3,000 people, 3K. You see the files of the repository, the README. README is kind of a landing page that gives you instructions about the, I'm just scrolling down, that gives you instructions about the repo. So, but you see the fork button at the top right part of the screen, the top right part of the screen. So once you click this button, it will make a copy of it to you. So let me show you something in the mobile version. github.com/github, maybe /fetch, or github.com/github first. Yes, and then you can see the fetch option. So I'm using mobile in case people are joining with mobiles and need to follow the instructions. So, but it happens that in the mobile version, it will show you, because of mobile responsiveness and a small screen, it will show you fetch the number of forks, PK forks, but you can't fork it directly from the mobile version. So in order for it to be able of forking to begin a collaboration in GitHub, you will need to turn on desktop mode in the mobile version. I'm sorry for the inconvenience it may cost you, but just need to come to this browser top right. I'm using Chrome in this Android emulator. Android emulators just come with Chrome browsers by default. You can install another browser. You can use another updated browser, Firefox, Edge, anything to access the GitHub, right? So you see desktop site. So when you load desktop site, though the screen is minified, and I doubt you can see this mobile phone from this end, but you see something similar to what is on this desktop mode and this fork button. I can't expand, I can see, and if I click on fork button, I can see the forking option in phone, right? So please, because I'll give you a repository to fork, and you will have to fork it. In fact, I think I should be showing you that repository now, but let me do frame fork first, and then I'll give us time to do it. So to fork this GitHub repository, this is it. I'm forking into my own copy of Obumuneme. I have other organizations, that's why they showed up. So you see, GitHub is showing something like forking GitHub. It should take a few seconds. After it has forked, you see you have your own copy, like it's a forked version, a forked repository. Take note of the top right. You now see your username, mine in this case, Obumuneme Nwabude / the repository name, fetch. But then they show you forked from GitHub/fetch. So I can now make a pull request or create an issue and all these things directly on GitHub, the original repository. So I think I can ignore this. And it's kind of automatic. If I refresh on the mobile version, maybe I should undo this desktop side, and I come to my own version of the fork, it kind of reflect, because yes, I mean, oh sorry. So yes, you see the same thing. Obumuneme/fetch fork phone. I don't know if your screens are clear to see the mobile phone. You know, the call is over the internet. So, but sorry about that. So, but that is it. That is it. So, forking is simple. You just test clicking the fork button at the top right, and it's the beginning of your collaboration on anything. So I'm assuming that some of us on the call, or most of us, already have the some of us on the call, or most of us already have logged in or sign up to our GitHub accounts. So the link on the screen is the link you have to fork. I think let me put it in directly in the chat box of this GitHub event message. So I'm sorry, I think everybody can have access to the chat box. github.com/Obumuneme. No, like you can't click on this, you can't type in the chat box, but you can actually click on or see anything I post there. I hope I'm correct.
No, I'm not seeing the chat box.
Okay, you can't even see the chat box in the first place. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So, okay, just bear with me. Maybe type directly from what's in the screen. See what's in the screen. github.com/obumunepe/mlsa-github. So kindly access this link, this repository in your, you should be signed in already. So in your browser, if you're using a phone, turn on desktop mode. If you reload, you see the fork button. If you're using a desktop or laptop, it's better. You can just click on it and click on the fork button at the top top right of the screen. Yes. So just fork the repository. So if you fork the repository, it's going to change. It just takes a few seconds. You saw the way it happened on my screen, and then it's going to change to your own username /mlsa-github. So there are instructions there, but let's not be in a haste. I'm going to show you what you have to do. So I don't know if you are there, if anybody is following the steps. Should we wait for you or something?
Trying to do that now.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Cletus. Who else is trying to do it? Any other person? And yes, this is what the repo looks like. If you fork the repository, it's going to indicate that you forked it, like you actually make the fork, or like you want to make the copy. So meanwhile, I don't know if you forked successfully. Cletus.
Not then, still trying to type.
Okay, sorry about the inconvenience. Oh, let me keep the slide in my screen so that you can see it. Sorry about the inconvenience. Oh, I think we'll have to tell them about this because it's really inconvenient. It's not a good job experience, right? So, but yes, so all collaborations on GitHub starts with this forking, and they, once you fork, the repository is yours. So in your fork, you can make changes to your fork. So the reason why you're forking this repository is because normally you cannot sign into my own account and make changes to it. So it's just like when we have many people contributing to the same Microsoft Word document, or many people contributing to the same Microsoft Excel or Microsoft PowerPoint document. It's possible, but the thing is, we need to all be signed in with our various Microsoft accounts. So what we just do is we kind of are accessing the same document, but we are making changes from our different ends to the internet. So it's the same thing here. We are just going to kind of have the same repository. But when you fork the repository, you're now making these changes in your own copy, and then I can maybe mine can be the central repo and can now make corrections, something like that. So that's what it looks like. So, Cletus, are you done? Maybe so that we can progress.
You can continue. I'll be done in the next 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Enter.
Okay, you're done already? That's good news. Okay, fine. So the next thing we talk about are issues. So this is the third part of this call. This is the third part of this call. We will be talking about issues. So as the name called, issue stands for problem. Issue stands for problem, like problem, but it's less of a problem. It's more of a discussion. So issues are for discussing changes. Sometimes it could be a feature request. You want to create a new feature, or not, you want to create a new feature. You want the developers of the project or the GitHub repository to create a new feature. So you create an issue for that. So, and then, or sometimes you see an error or a bug. Bugs are like errors in code. You see an error and you want to help in the collaboration. So you kind of create an issue directly. So under the issue, people can comment on the issues. Maybe I'm going to show you examples of issues. Issues are I've created in other repositories. So there are so many issues on GitHub. If you get many issues, if you get many issues for different repositories on GitHub, you're going to see different, like there's so many, and the issues are numbered numerically. So let me show you an example of an issue. I think I kept one here. So, okay, fine. This is one that is opened. This was a code by someone, Rudy Davis, Flutter deep linking. It was about Flutter. So I used the code and I found an error on it. This was 6 days ago. So I came and complained about the issue, and it's still open. So you can comment. I wrote this comment, explain what the problem was, and it's still open. Like, he hasn't yet given feedback, another person has, and that's okay. And in the mobile version of GitHub, I think we can still see. Let me copy the link to this GitHub issue. Let me open a new tab. So you can see the same clashing routers issue. So that's the issue, right? That's an example of an issue on GitHub. And people can comment. You can write a comment on an issue and all these things. So part of this exercise, we'll be demanding you to create an issue. So the important part of issues is that issues contain numbers. So notice this number 1 by this issue, clashing routers. This was this issue. Maybe I should show another example, another issue. No. Yes, security key demanded. So this was another one that had a lot of massive comments between Chinedu and I. But it was all about open source contributions and different things like that. So, but concerning our GitHub event today, we expect you to create a GitHub issue. So the issue you have to create is a very simple issue. Oh, sorry, I have to edit this. It's not GitHub event, it's /GitHub. I edited the repo. I think I have to escape. Let me edit it. Right. It's not GitHub event. Yeah, it's this way. Yeah, /GitHub. So let me click the link. Yes, that's it. So going back to the link we just forked, Cletus and every other person on the call, please go back to the one, not to your own fork, not your own copy, back to the original MLSA. So what we're going to be doing is we need to open a new issue. Yes, so click on the issues
on the normal.
Yes, on my own, on the original copy, your Obumuneme Nwabude's copy, not on your own fork. So
Okay.
click on the issues tab after code. You see issues somewhere on the top left under the after code. You should be on a, yeah, I think even if you're on mobile, it's still possible to see. Let me check. If you're mobile, you should possible to see what it looks like. I think I should open a new tab either. Yeah, so on mobile, I see issues tab here. I can see the new issue button. Yes. So in desktop, you see the new issues tab. Let me bring down this like this here. See the same new issue button. So it's the same thing on both mobile and desktop, right? So to create an issue, you need to enter both a title and a comment or description. So for title, let me say, okay, before we continue, the aim of this website was to add our names to a website. So MLSA, let me show you the website on mobile. MLSA GitHub events. Sorry, github.web.app. So this is one website for today's repo. So it contains attendees of today's event. It's empty. I've not done anything. So what happens is
The moment any of us here attending this call makes a pull request closing an issue, our names will reflect here. You can check your name, right? See it on mobile, on desktop. So you see it here, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors, collaborating with GitHub, brought to you by Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors, organized by Obumuneme Nwabude myself, held on today. So after you join, after you create an issue and make a pull request, we'll come to pull request later, your name will reflect under the attendee session. Currently, there's no attendee. So the new issue you should be creating, and everybody on this call, the issue you should be creating is, okay, the issue you should be creating is add your name instead of, okay, let me be sure of the instructions. So then, we are written the instructions previously. Said, create an issue, leave a comment, add to that a new website. Yeah, that's it. Oh, something is wrong. Enter add to the new website. Put on your reading. Okay, it's meant to be add my name into app Obumuneme Nwabude to the attendee website. Something like that. Add me to that new website. So, and I can click on submit new issue. So once you submit an issue, it's given a number. See, number 5, right? Mine is number 5. So this number 5 is important because we're going to use it to close the issue. So you can comment on issues. Maybe I can comment on this issue. Okay, send a pull request.
You said the title should be add your name what?
I didn't hear you.
You said on the title we should write what?
Add your name to the attendee website. So it's your name you write, not my name. Because on the screen I wrote my own name, add Obumuneme Nwabude, but you can write your own name. If you can one name or two names, it wasn't right in full. So you write it there to the attendee website, right? And it's come up. And then you submit a new issue.
All right.
So you can comment on pull requests the way you see it this way. So this is another thing why I like. Okay, Cletus, you've added already. We can see your pull request from here directly, added by Cletus immediately. So that's good. Thank you very much, Cletus. So the next thing, so that's about issues. So before we close on issues, I want to explain something. So Cletus, please take note of your number. Your own issue number is 6. You can see it here. Maybe I should come here. Your own issue number is 6. Take note of it. It will be important to us. First start with an issue. Yes, Cletus, you're very right. So that number is important to you because if you want to collaborate on that repository, I want to close that pull request or comment on the issue or visit the issue or something like that, you may need to close the issue, sorry. You may need to open a pull request and reference that issue. So to reference an issue, you simply use hashtag the phone number, just the way the issue number, sorry. Just like it was with these 6 and 5 I have. So before we go on, so I think it's clear, we can open issues and create issues. So we can comment on, let me comment on Cletus's issue because it's in the call. He said, thanks Cletus for the issue. Following. Take note of your, we will have to add your name. I commented. And as I'm commenting, it reflected immediately on mobile that I've commented. So that's one thing I like about GitHub. It synchronizes in real time. It synchronizes in real time. Okay. So back to the issue, to the slide. So that was about opening an issue. So pull requests. I think we are getting to the close. So pull requests. Pull requests are an integral part of collaboration because it's in pull requests that we can now make these changes, see our changes, see our events, send our code. The changes we make, we can send them through pull requests. Yes. So for sure, we can call them PRs. PR, pull request. So essentially, a pull request is an offer to merge. So there's a concept of branches, but the secret is once you create a pull request, you can send it to the original repository. So like the forks, when you make a fork of your repo, and maybe you create a pull request there, you can send a pull request from your own fork into the original repository from where you forked, like from yours, Cletus, into mine, or from every other person that forked the repository to mine. So when they send a pull request, I can now merge or close. If I merge the pull request, the changes you propose become part of it. So pull requests can be reviewed or corrected. So in some organizational policies, we can set that, okay, before we merge this pull request, a reviewer, an author, or a code owner has to come and edit that pull request and be sure there are no mistakes. Edit and be sure. So that's like reviewing. So it's good practice to detail the changes made in the pull request. Like, we're going to say example. So it's beyond just the example we are doing today. Okay, let me show an example with an existing, like the Flutter issue I showed before. I made a pull request to correct the issue I noticed. Let me show you. Here is it. I think it was clashing routers. Clashing routers was the issue. And then this was a pull request. So this is an example of a pull request. Resolve clashing routers. Oh, let me refresh the page. I should be signed in. Yes. So resolve clashing routers. So I imported and corrected the thing, and I mentioned fixes number 1. So that's a very important part of pull requests. If Roddy Davis, the author of this pull request, merges this pull request, I can't merge because I'm not the code owner. But if he merges, right, once he merges the pull request, it will close that issue automatically. So you can see files changed. On the files changed, you can see the changes I made. So there were issues with the Flutter router, whatever thing, and I had to correct it by just using a keyword all through, and the changes were correct. You can check. Another one is like another thing. You can comment on pull requests the way you comment on issues, and pull requests to have numbers for identities, and issues and pull requests share the same numbers. So you can see another pull request about the other Chinedu's repository, which is a repo generator repo. So I decided to use repos I commented on to make you understand that anybody can actually collaborate with GitHub. You don't need to be a pro developer. It can be little things you notice. It could be documentation, but it's get started with open source, and you need to understand how to collaborate with GitHub. It's a very important and crucial feature. So you can see it here. These are other things we're doing, and that's it. So without wasting much of our time, we have to make a pull request. We have to make a pull request. So before we can make a pull request, we need to make a change. Because we're proposing a change that, okay, this is why we are demanding for this pull request. And if the pull request is merged, the repository is closed. This is a mistake again. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me edit this thing. Yeah, that's it. So we're supposed to edit the attendees.json. So that was a file that is in our repository we just talked for attendees. So once you add your attendee data inside, your Instagram link, your Facebook link, LinkedIn link, Twitter link, GitHub profile, personal portfolio website, your name, once you add it and you commit it and you send a pull request, it's going to reflect on my base repo that you send the pull request. And once it reflects, we can actually we can merge it, and once it's merged, a GitHub action will run. So that's another thing about GitHub. GitHub has actions. GitHub actions are capable of doing things on a repository when there's a change, like this one. So this GitHub action, once it runs, you can now see your name on the GitHub attendees website. Okay, so let's get started. So I open an issue, and I think I'll commit a different branch and send a pull request since I cannot fork. But you can fork. You have to go to your own fork. Like Cletus, you have to do this from your own. For example, Cletus Kingdom. You have to do it from your own fork of this repository. So you should come to pull request. If you notice in your fork, you cannot see issues. You see code, pull request, you cannot see issues, and that's how it's meant to be. So it is you that will come to your own fork of the repo and click on public, and then click on attendees.json. But I'm not supposed to be doing this on your own fork of the repo. I'm supposed to do it on mine. So back to mine, public, attendees.json. So it's possible to do the same thing with mobile. Back to mobile, close app. Sorry about that. Code. View code. Public. Sorry about the recursion. It's an attendees.json file. So this attendees.json file is a file you need to edit. So you need to come here. You may need to edit file. So but editing from desktop is easier. But you can also edit from mobile. So how are you editing? To edit, you simply copy. You copy the sample. There's a sample. Copy the sample. Come to the end. Append the comma. Right. Enter a new line. Paste the sample. Then when you paste the sample, you edit your name. You edit everything. So remember, if there's any social media here, you don't have the details, please empty it, like you kind of delete. And please leave the sample. You can maybe, if I don't have Instagram, I can just delete Instagram entirely and leave it like that. So, but if you have something, you put a valid Instagram handle, like mine, I have a valid Instagram handle. For website, I have a valid website, Obumuneme Nwabude. I have a valid LinkedIn, IN/Obumuneme Nwabude. Valid Facebook /Obumuneme Nwabude. I have a valid Twitter username. This is also possible on mobile, right? But I'm just doing it desktop so that you can see it. Because I suppose over the call, the font size of my screen is reduced. So after you're done, you commit, you make changes to this commit. And let me show the commit message. Yes, so after you're done, you change the commit message to Obumuneme Nwabude attended the GitHub event. Something like this. So after writing this in the commit title message, in the optional description, you write closes your issue number. That's why I asked us statement of the issue number. You write closes number. Mine was number 5. So you can see, because I'm on desktop, GitHub even proposed the issue number, right? I can reference other ones. I want to close number 5. So if you're on mobile, you may not see this feature because it's mobile. But on desktop, you can see it closes number 5, and that's that. Or you can type it yourself, closes #5, and that's all. So if I commit directly to your main branch. No, me, I will commit to a new branch because I want to send a pull request. But you can commit directly to your main branch just on the form, right? So you propose. So yours will not come directly to a pull request. Mine came directly to a pull request because I'm the author of the repository. but yours may not come directly to a pull request. You may need to manually enter the pull request link, or once you're done, you still create a pull request, or you visit this link. It's the README of the original repository. We even see this patch had a
Obum.
So I'm sorry, it's getting more technical at this point. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Yes,
Hello.
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm saying after forking, we are supposed to go to our the repo on our own link, right?
Okay,
Then
yes.
edit what you say we should edit.
Yes, exactly. Have you created an issue?
An issue, yes.
Yes.
I did.
Okay, fine. And you took note of the number, I think number 6, right?
Yes.
Fine. So in your own fork, in your own copy, you're supposed to edit it, like go to public and then go to attendees.json. Inside it, you copy the sample, scroll to the end, like click on look for the edit button somewhere there. Scroll to the end, press enter comma, click the enter button to enter a new line, paste the sample, then update the details to yours. If there's anyone you don't have, you delete it and you delete the value, but leave the key. Like leave Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, but delete the content. If you don't have it, but if you have it, you use yours the way I've used mine. And then you scroll down, you update the commit message, like your name attended, and then inside the description box, you use closing space, hash the number of the issue. That's in your case 6. So others that may have different issues may close something else. You understand?
Explain that last part again.
Yeah. So the change you're making, for it to be recorded, it has to be committed. You need to commit it. You need to kind of commit,
Yes.
commit kind of saying that, okay, please, I'm authorizing these changes. Please put them in my repository.
Right.
So for them to be effective, you have to add a commit message, right? And possible a description of the commit message. So in the commit message, you kind of be like, your name, Cletus, attended the GitHub event, right? And then in the description, you mention your issue number. You say closest space issue number. When you use kind of thing, you're telling GitHub that when this pull request is merged, when it is accepted to the base repo, that's my own, you're kind of contributing to my repository, right? So when we merge it, it's kind of say, okay, it will close that issue, that the issue has been solved. Because technically issues are problems and they need to be closed or solved. And they can be closed with pull requests. And pull requests are now that part that proposes changes. Is it clear?
I'm currently doing it now.
Okay, great. Yeah, follow along. Please do it. So after you're done committing, you now need to send a pull request. If you visit my base repo, you see compare and pull request a minute ago. You can click on it or scroll down to the README. One of the instructions there have how to do it. A link. You copy it, you paste on a new tab, and then you change your GitHub username to yours. Maybe you can change yours to Cletus Kingdom. Let me do that right now. So you've not made the changes and there's nothing to compare. But once you make the change, you see the changes, you see the additions and deletions. So meanwhile, let me create the pull request. Create pull request from my end. So I need to review it. So it has to be reviewed. I am an author. Once you create your own pull request, Cletus or any other person has to be reviewed. But I'm an author and I can easily merge and I cannot be reviewing my own code. So GitHub also show me the interface of reviewing. But when you're the one committing or coding, when you commit and send a pull request, show me to review, something like that. So I can edit this file, something like comma, enter, Control V. Sorry.
Can
and I can edit
can I
that
see
link
the
for
way?
mobile. Yes,
Hello.
the question.
Can I
I'm
see?
hearing.
Can I see the way you? Can I see the way you edited the attendance something? The attendee
Okay, let me show
registration
you
part.
quick.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if you can see, like, it's just to
I've seen
update
it.
the value first. You can see it highlighted in green. I put my
I've
name
seen
in the
it.
value of name, and then the website, I updated this mine. If you don't have it, delete everything inside the double quotes. The LinkedIn, I deleted the XX and put my own values. Facebook deleted the XX, but then Twitter, GitHub, Instagram, that work with usernames. I put my own usernames one time. I used the same username across all social media. So it was easy.
All right.
So, but you,
All right.
if
So
you don't have, pardon?
yeah, I said I've done that. So after that, you're supposed to go to where?
Yeah, you scroll to the bottom and you see where they say update a message, update identity.json. So you change that message, you focus there and you type, okay, let me be doing it equally. You focus there and you type something like, sorry. You focus there and you type something like, I can't read here because it's my repo. Type something like, Cletus attended the GitHub event, like your name attended the GitHub event. And then in the description, you put closes space #6 because your own issue was issue 6. I don't know if you're on track.
Where am I supposed to put this?
Scroll to the bottom of the page entirely. Maybe since you're using a phone, you can click the back button to remove your keyboard and then scroll the page, scroll down to the bottom of the page, you see it.
Okay.
Have you located it?
And the only thing I'm seeing here is commit directly to the main branch, and the second one is create a new branch, which
Exactly. So click on commit directly to the main branch and click on commit changes.
because I've done that.
As you committed,
Yes.
fine. So there should be a refresh, sign off. So what do you see on the screen?
Going back to the main link is showing me contribute and it's showing me fetch upstream.
Do you see something like compare and pull request or something like that?
I'm seeing open pull request.
Exactly. So click on open pull request.
All right, I've seen your repo and I've seen mine, and it's
You're seeing it should say something like you should see something like a box where you can update values, right?
Update value.
Sorry, you can something like title and description.
I wish I could find a way to show you my screenshots, but
Would there be a way to do that with Microsoft Teams? You may need to present and
there's
you
a
may
way
need to present. Well,
there's a way to do that, but this particular meeting has a different interface. This is not the way I know it to be.
yeah, they are updating every time, and not just that. Like I mentioned before, you're a guest to the meeting. You're not a member. Had it been you are a member of this organization, I don't know if I can add you as a member. Okay, make a presenter. I've made you a presenter.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can now present.
Okay, I've seen my share screen.
So you can maybe share your screen. I'll tell you what to do.
You see my screen, right?
Yeah, it's loading. It's coming up. Exactly. I can see your screen.
Okay.
It's coming. Just give it a little moment. I can now see Teams apps microphone. Your phone is loading. Are you using incognito?
I logged in with another account which I don't want to log out, so
If you may have to log in, log in a standard because kind of screen sharing is hidden. It's exactly. Thank you. You kind of log in here better. Log in here is better, please, because I can't see anything in incognito. So exactly, open pull request. You're on the right track, bro. So you can create a pull request. Yes.
Should click on create a pull request.
Yes, please click on it. Exactly. Now, go added my name to the attendees.json file. That place, go to the second, this where you deploy the second ES. Click on enter. Like add another line. Right. Closes space has 6. That was your yeah 6. You see, it came up actually. So you're closing that issue. So you can now scroll down to the bottom and send the pull request. I'll receive it immediately. So you can click on create pull request. Yes. Congratulations. That was all it took. So your pull request has been created and it will reflect directly in mine. So I think I can take over and you can see review required. And the moment I review it, it will pass. So I think I can take over sharing my screen, right? And take over the screen sharing. Thank you very much, Cletus.
Thank you.
Share. Right. So yes, so this is you. Review required. So once I review it, in most cases, in most organizations, you need to review. So this is why review is important. I need to make some corrections because I don't know if you can see the screen, it's kind of distorted. I just need to make it look good. I just need to make it look good so that I'm sure everything is proper. You know, you're using the phone editor, so that's why it kind of disrupted everything. And that's okay, that's okay. That's why there's need for code reviews. And GitHub thought about all these things when they were. So your name is not included mistakenly. Let me add it for you. I think Let's Kingdom is okay.
Yeah.
I hope you can see what I'm doing.
Yes, I'm saying
As simple as that. So I think we are done. So I'm approving your changes. Correct. 6. So if I don't correct these mistakes, the website won't load properly. Okay. So yeah, so now I can merge your pull request. Oh, add your review. Review changes, approve. Yeah, so it has been approved. Something like this. It's all green now. So I can now merge it. So once I merge your pull request, your name will be the first to appear here if you refresh the page. Something like that. Let me get the link from here. MLSA. MLSA. Remember, it's MLSA. .github.web.app, yes, something like that. So there's no name here. Attendees will send pull request. But when we start merging, and people are sending it to reflect this. So let me merge, confirm.
So the link is mlsa.github.
No, MLSA MLSA GitHub.web.app. There's no dash, there's no dot between MLSA and GitHub. I think I'll come. Let me show you the link. I think it's somewhere in the repository, the original repository. So I've merged your pull request now. So after merging your pull request now, you see that it will run a job. It's run a GitHub job. You can see this yellow button. If I click on it, some checks haven't completed. It's deploying. When it's done deploying and turns green, your name will now appear on it. I think I should update the slide with that thing so you can see it. Oh my God. Duplicate. Check your name.
So
the computer.
I don't know whose mic is unmuted and is not contributing. Something like this. Who is talking? Let me read the person. Yes, so that's it. So this is it, something like this. MLS say GitHub event. Oh, who is?
Yeah.
So there is it, Cletus. I don't know if you can see the link on the screen. So the job
Yes,
is,
I
I don't know if the job, can you see, wait, let me look. Can you see it now? MLS say GitHub.
I've seen the link.
Fine, thank you. So you can check it out. Meanwhile, let me check if your job is done running. And also let me also merge my own pull request so that mine also reflects. Your job was at sorry. Where were we? Okay, we're here. Just a sec. Let me merge this pull request and then we are done. So yours is done deploying. If we check your name now, if we refresh this page, your name should be there. So you can see it's Cletus Kingdom. I now seeing it.
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Maybe you can see it. So it's as simple as that. So this is the power of GitHub and contribution. So it was just like, maybe let's imagine maybe this was a showcase website or something, and it took pull requests to add everybody. That was how it is. So let me also merge my own pull request so that my name will reflect, and before we can call it a day. So many open tabs. I think I can close these tabs. Yes. So here am I. I just want to merge this one. Okay, I have to resolve conflicts. Just a sec, please. And this part of the procedure, when you make changes and maybe there are conflicting lines, you may have to merge them. So GitHub is very powerful with all these features. It's something indispensable to the coding world. Has resolved. I've resolved it. Commit merge. Everything directly from GitHub. If you notice, I've not opened any other. See, so let me merge the pull request. Closes. So your issue was closed. If you notice, if I come for your issue, I come here. You see, it has been closed. And if I enter inside, you see where they said, Cletus mentioned this issue 7 minutes ago. Obumuneme closed this issue in number 8 by merging, and I've closed this. So I want to also close mine because by as we merge a pull request that refers an issue, it closes it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and then closes. Okay, let me actually, let's see. So after having closed, the issue is gone. If you notice, the issue is gone. The issue tab is now 0. There's no longer numbers by 8 because they are closed. 0 open, 2 closed. And the GitHub action is running. It's still running. It's a yellow mark. Once it turns green, it will reflect on the side. So we can be recapitulating. We can be rounding up. So that was what I was about today. Our aim was to showcase. Our aim was to showcase that we can easily make collaborations easy with GitHub, right? So we had introduced GitHub, logged into our GitHub accounts, seen how we could easily create repositories. What repositories are? They were containers, forks, repos, opened issues, created pull requests, saw what it looked like on mobile and on the web browser desktop version.
And then now I want to call it a day, like we're almost done. So before we close, any questions? I think I can stop presenting. Oh, wait, let me be sure. Let the job finish so that I can check in my side. My name, my job is done. So if you check now, you now see 2 names, Obumuneme and Cletus. And the links are working, right? If you open either of them, if you open, let me open Instagram. If you open it, for example, it's working. If you open the site, if you open the personal link, we don't have all the time. So back to, yes, and the same thing with the mobile version. If you, okay, let me refresh the page and let's see if the has been added. Sorry about it. Yes, it has reflected. So that's it. If I open Facebook, for example, that's it. It came up, right? So we are good to go. We are good to go. We can call it a day. I can maybe bring on some later. So maybe one more thing before I stop presenting. So like I said at the beginning of the call, all attendees of this call, especially those who have made requests, are entitled to a any questions? Any questions?
No
All
questions.
attendees of this call are okay. Thank you very much. Let me edit this link. Let me edit this link. Control. Entitled to certificate, but you will need to. Let me know you can easily remember. HTTPS .ly/MLSA GitHub feedback. I think that's it. I think I can even remember the short back link because sorry, sir, it's not feedback. Certificate. So please let me show it's very big because yeah, something like this. Oh, sorry. So please, everybody, please kindly copy this link out because I think after this call, you may not be capable of seeing the link or contacting me. So you may kindly copy this link, and if you want to reach out to me, okay, my details are already on the event website, so you can click on any of them and inbox me. I'll reply on LinkedIn, send a connection request, send a Facebook request. Thank you very much for attending this Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors event. Kindly go to the GitHub website and complete. So that once you complete, you're going to receive give us feedback about the event, where we get better with Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors events. And then when you complete you can complete the feedback. When you complete the feedback, expect your certificate by tomorrow. So before I will stop presenting, I think I can stop presenting, right? Sorry. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. See you guys. Yes, you conclude today. Stop.
Bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.